Good morning and welcome to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS. As you know, the Hub City is known for innovation, industry, and education. North Parkway Middle School embodies those traits in several ways. Dr. Shemon Reaves, the principal of North Parkway, joins us along with student and staff representatives to discuss the new Star Academy that has opened inside the school. Now, if you're new to the JMCSS podcast, this episode and previous shows can be viewed right now on our YouTube channel, or you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and radio731.com. Dr. Reaves, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, I do want to introduce our other guests. Paula Broomfield is a science teacher at North Parkway / Star Academy.
In STEM.
Okay. And Zachary Freeman is an 8th grader
Yes,
at North Parkway, a STAR student. Yes. We have 3 guests on the panel. For the first time, we've got this 3 guest setup, so this is exciting. I do want to stick to the script we have in place. And Dr. Reaves, we always ask our guests, did you always know you wanted to work in education?
Not at all.
All right. So what was your first, a major, or what career field did you think about first?
I wanted to be a psychologist. My degrees are in psychology and applied psychology. So I really wanted to be a psychologist. And I learned throughout the years that you really couldn't do anything with a psychology degree in Tennessee unless you had your doctorate in it.
Gotcha. Okay. Dr. Shemon Reaves, principal at North Parkway. Joining him is Paula Broomfield. And Ms. Broomfield, you've been in education for more than 2 decades.
Yes.
However, I still got to ask the question, did you always know you wanted to work in education?
No. I played the school settings with the teddy bears and the dolls, but when I went to college and took the career interest test, the money wasn't agreeing with me, so I went into the medical science like that, but my calling was to teach, and that's what brought me into teaching.
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. I got to give this shout out. Paula Broomfield, Southside High School class of
89.
89. Okay, we got that out of the way. Because JCM graduates and Northside graduates are here all the time, and they shout out their classes.
So are y'all going to do a hawk clap for them?
We might. They'll have to. Let's save that for the third segment. Dr. Reaves, tell me about your upbringing in Hardeman County. Now, Jackson is the hub city, so it's no surprise folks outside of Jackson make the hub city their home. I know athletics and academics are a big part of your background. In fact, the first time I ever met you, you were a coach at Northside High School, but I know your background in sports and leadership goes back further than that. So tell me about that.
Grew up in Bolivar, Tennessee.
You want to look at the camera and give Bolivar a shout out?
Bolivar, Tennessee, Hardeman County.
Okay.
Yes. Grew up in Bolivar, Tennessee, in a single family home. My dad was one that was very well known around West Tennessee. He was one of the first, was the first NBA player that come from this area. Joel Reaves, who went to Bethel College and then was drafted to the Phoenix Suns. Okay. So athletics run kind of deep in the family. So grew up playing basketball and football. Graduated from Bolivar Central High School in '97. Went to Dyersburg State under the coach of Alan Burnett, and then from Dyersburg State to Christian Brothers University, and then graduated from Christian Brothers University, and came back home after I graduated and started teaching at Bolivar Middle School. And then from Bolivar Middle School, I had the opportunity to come to Jackson-Madison County School System with Dr. Ricky Catlett at West Bemis. Became the boys coach there, the boys middle school coach. And from there, we stayed a year, and we went to Northside High School, and I became the girls coach there. So it got to a point where I said, you know what, I want to go back to get my doctorate degree. And I left coaching alone and went back to get my doctorate degree, and that led me into leadership.
Dr. Shemon Reaves is principal at North Parkway Middle School. And we have a student from North Parkway on the panel this morning. Zachary Freeman is an 8th grader. So, Zach, what is the vibe at North Parkway? I know you are involved in a lot of activities. So first, before we talk about the vibe, tell us about some of the activities you're involved in at North Parkway.
So some of the activities that I'm involved in North Parkway is the North Parkway Unit Choir, Green Power and Robotics, Student Council, and the Star Academy as an ambassador.
Ms. Broomfield, for a minute, let's talk about Green Power. You have a science background, and I'm sure
It's my niche.
you
Love
get
it.
excited to see students be able to not just read information in a book, but take that knowledge and make it applied to a project. How fun is it to watch Zach and his classmates in robotics or in Green Power?
Very exciting. Sometimes I get involved. I have to tell myself, step back, hands off, because it's the scholars. Anything for the scholars, I wish everyone could come out and be a part of it. I love Green Power. Robotics also. Green Power, though, they actually get out there and just to see them interact with one another and learn the different parts. And thanks to the parents that we have involved, especially have to give them a shout out. Miss Bragg and her husband Dustin comes out and interacts well with the kids. He's taught them about the tools and the machines, and also Coach K. Ross helps out in his free time, but he's a man of many talents. But he comes out and gets involved. But I just like to see even the light on them when they interact with other people, collaborate with others, because 4-year universities are not for everybody.
Right.
Because I'm a STEM teacher also. So just to find their talent and enhance on that, to let them know the generational cycle can be stopped.
That's right.
You can move on. TCAT is number one. I try to get them out any chance we can. To
Shout
talk
out
to
to
them.
Tennessee College of Applied
Yes.
Technology.
Just to talk to them also.
We're visiting with Paula Broomfield, a science teacher at North Parkway Middle School. Star student Zachary Freeman, he's an 8th grader at North Parkway, and the principal of North Parkway, Dr. Shemon Reaves. Zachary, but put it into words, how much fun do you have in Green Power? And to explain it to folks who haven't heard of Green Power racing before, the students put together an electric car, and everyone on the team has a different role. And you guys get to race these cars against other schools. And in fact, we had the Toyota Grand Prix recently, and Toyota and 6K, these folks support our schools. What's it like being a member of Green Power Racing?
It's really fun
Best part about it?
working together with other people.
Yeah. Dr. Reeves, how much fun is it for you from a leadership standpoint, number one, to be able, in some regards, to kind of take a step back, watch your veteran teachers help your students discover new skills?
It's amazing to see the passion that they have, that passion that drives their why of helping our future leaders find their why at an early age. It's just amazing. I love the transition going to North Parkway. I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time.
I'm glad you said that. It's time to take a commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk about that transition you took from Arlington Elementary to North Parkway. Got to come back and ask about the vibe at North Parkway. You guys described that for me. And part of the vibe this year is Star Academy. It's new, it's innovative, and I know it's really changing the outlook many of your students have on education.
Absolutely.
You're listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. This morning, we're visiting with Dr. Shemon Reaves, principal of North Parkway Middle School, star teacher Paula Broomfield, Southside High School class of 89. Did I throw that in there? And Zachary Freeman, a star student North Parkway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, guess what? We get to pick our clubs tomorrow at school. What should I pick?
What about picking 4-H?
That sounds like fun, but maybe I'll pick choir club or STEM club or nursing club or photography club.
You could say my kids are excited over all the options and opportunities offered by Jackson Madison County Schools. Our public schools offer more than 100 different clubs and activities for students.
Wait, I know. Ukulele club.
Oh boy, maybe let's stick to art or debate.
For options and opportunities, tuition free, choose Jackson Madison County Schools.
Welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS. This morning, we're visiting with Dr. Shemon Reaves, the principal at North Parkway Middle School. Teacher Paula Broomfield, she teaches science and STEM. She's also a part of the new Star Academy staff. Zachary Freeman is an 8th grader at North Parkway. He's a member of the choir. He's a member of robotics. He's a member of Green Power. What is he getting ready? Is he going to join the leadership team next at the school?
Well, he actually already
Student
is.
council.
He's on student council.
Okay.
And he's a star ambassador.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Zachary. Thanks for being here. Zach, what words would you use to describe North Parkway?
Exciting.
What is exciting or fun about your middle school?
All the activities that we get to do.
Yeah. And so I know, Dr. Reaves, there were several things that were already going on at North Parkway before you got there.
Yes, sir.
Club Day being one of those.
Yes.
Who wants to answer this question about, and I've seen it before, and I think it's really cool, but you guys are there. Who wants to take this question? What is Club Day?
Club Day is the day that the scholars, first and foremost, they get to choose the club they want to be in, their top 3. Mm-hmm. We fill it up to the capacity, first come, first serve. Mm-hmm. But we try to let them get at least the top 3 that they want, and we bring in the people from out of the community. Mm-hmm. And then also they get to see different talents that the teachers have that they won't see as far as in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And I'm back up a little bit because I forgot to mention Miss Smith with me on robotics and Green Power. So we're sort of like peanut butter and jelly. Okay. We mellow each other out, and the help that we give each other, and just the fact of allowing them to stay after school. Mm-hmm. So we have a club day for that, which we brought in Blue Oval, who sponsors us greatly.
Wow!
I had to get a shout out to
Blue Oval.
Yes, had to get a shout out to them, and so they got to see the electric truck last year and stuff like, so I tell them it's the whole lot you can do now for you not to say you can't go to college. You can go, you can work on your talent, enhance it. So, and Club Day does that. We have the veterinarian club, and she brings all types of animals.
Yes.
From baby kangaroos, little joeys, on up to the snakes. But they, the kids get to interact with that, and they love the Club Day.
Yeah. So I think probably the biggest factor about Club Day is the fact that it happens during the school day.
Yes.
Again, going back to the 80s and 90s, a lot of your clubs, you'd have to stay after school.
Yes, sir.
You'd have to secure a ride home. I mean, this is a real opportunity for students. The fact that, Ms. Broomfield, all these activities you mentioned, you guys cut out time during the school day for the students to get this exposure,
and that's what they need because they don't see it. And I know you brought up our location before. A lot of our issues, our parents don't have the transportation to get the kids where they need to be, and that's why it's like anything that can be right after school on tutoring days where the transportation is free. I'm willing. Miss Smith and I are there. Anybody tell Miss Smith and I are always there. 5 and other teachers help out, but just to expose them to that for the chances that they don't get the exposure, to always let them know there's other avenues of getting where you need to be.
Zach, I want to ask you, and Ms. Broomfield said, you get to pick several clubs, but everybody has a top 3. What are your 3 clubs?
The first one I did was the pep squad for the school. The second choice was veterinarians, and the third choice was student council.
Good deal.
And can I throw in something on here? He's very humble.
Okay.
He said the pep squad. He created and designed and developed
Yeah,
the pep squad.
he
He
really-
wrote a proposal and
Yes.
brought it to me about opening up a student section during athletic games.
Okay.
And he did the homework. He put the objectives together, the mission, the vision, and all of that, taking on that leadership role that you mentioned just a moment ago. He took on that leadership role and said, Dr. Reaves, this is something that the students would like to do, and would you be open to listen to it and let us present it to you? And he done an amazing job, and the pep squad did an amazing job throughout the year.
Now, Zachary, how did you have the courage to approach a principal? And having worked in education, a lot of times students are afraid to talk to teachers, to talk to principals, to share their thoughts and ideas. How did you have the courage and the foresight to approach Dr. Reaves about that?
Most principals, they really don't talk to their scholars, but Dr. Reaves, he talks to us, he lets us know that he's there for us. We can talk to him whenever we need him.
Oh, wow. We're visiting with Dr. Shemon Reaves, principal at North Parkway Middle School. Paula Broomfield, star teacher at North Parkway and Star Academy. We're going to get to Star Academy in a moment. Zachary Freeman, an 8th grader at North Parkway. Dr. Reaves, I do want to ask you, you were previously an assistant principal at the elementary school level. You get a new assignment. You're going to middle school. It's a different set of kids, different age group. What advice did the coach, we're talking about Dr. Marlon King, our superintendent, what advice did the coach give you as you prepared to make that transition and then made the leap?
Well, from the assistant principal at elementary at Arlington Elementary School to moving up to the principal at Arlington Elementary School, then making this transition, the coach said, be authentically you.
Oh, wow. Can we stop on that for a moment? How does that make you feel when your boss tells you, Dr. Reaves, I believe in you, go do it your way?
Amazing. It makes you feel like I believe in you, that you have something that I feel is needed in this position. It's kind of like being on a team. Everybody has to be a role player. And when you have role players on the court that know how to play the role, and they have the team focus, you're going to have champions. You're going to create a championship team that becomes a dynasty. That is what Dr. King is doing here at Jackson-Madison County. The data is speaking for itself.
And I think what's cool is Dr. LaDonna Braswell started Club Day
Yes.
at North Parkway, kind of put a platform in place. She transitions to Liberty Tech,
Yes.
which she's really growing that school. You move over to North Parkway, and now you put your fingerprint on this school and the program. On the outside looking in, that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, Dr. LaDonna Braswell had already built a solid foundation, and we want to capitalize off all the great things that she had already put in place. And another thing that the coach said is, go slow to go fast. So you have to go in and look at all of the great things that she had already put in place, and how me and her kind of have a joke. I'm the male version of her,
Okay.
and she's the female version of me.
All right.
And we kind of work hand in hand together with our thinking process, and working under the leadership of Dr. King with our leadership meetings. And we really have a time to fellowship and get to know one another, get to see our thought process of, why would you do this? How would you do that? Some of the things that she had already going over at North Parkway, we were implementing at Arlington because we wanted to have our kids, because we feed North Parkway our scholars.
Gotcha, okay.
And even now, we're working still together, because guess what? Some of North Parkway scholars are going to be at Liberty.
Right.
So we're constantly working together, being organizational focused of how do we prepare our children to be productive citizens in any community they choose to live.
You talk about the matriculation, the pathway, where the zones, students going from one school to another. Zachary Freeman is about to be a gift at some high school. What type of student will a JCM or early college or Liberty get when Zachary Freeman arrives?
An asset.
For real.
Talk about that, Ms. Broomfield.
Took the words right out of my mouth because, I don't have children of my own, but if I did, he's rough around the edges a little bit. You got to get him straight. But other than that, when I tell you he takes the lead, he texts me all day. Miss Broomfield, here's how I'm going to do our new engineering design booklet.
Yeah.
He went to the others when we were at the robotics. Miss Smith sent them out.
Right.
Fish is looking for something to feed on, and he went out, checked out other books, came back, found that for us, found another robot that we want to build. And I have to shout out a thank you to Dr. McSweeney and Molly for always
Right, Dr. Plyler.
can just text, call any, and they're always giving us what we need if we don't have it. So I'm very appreciative of them just to grow our scholars, because when I first started at North Parkway, we didn't have, this at all when it first transitioned into a middle school. And now that I've been there since it's been a middle school, I see the growth in all our,
And I think what folks in the community or people who don't work in education may not realize is that when you have a star student, that star student impacts the environment, but that star student also has the ability to help make that teacher better.
yes.
It's like when a coach has a Michael Jordan, now the coach has to figure out, how to get the most
And he
out of
pulls
it.
people in. He's pulled people that, what? You're in the pep? Quiet, withdrawn, but something Zachary has. He has that special gift. He pulls people in.
We're visiting with students and staff from North Parkway Middle School. We've got one more segment left. We've got to get into Star Academy. Star Academy is really the new innovative piece there at North Parkway. And I think what the cool thing is, it's attracting students from different ends of the spectrum. We're going to talk about Star Academy at North Parkway. When we return, you're listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson, Madison County Schools on JJ 97.7 FM. Your school, your choice. Open enrollment with Jackson Madison County Schools makes it possible. Register for unique school options like Madison Academic, Community Montessori, and the Middle School Academic Academy at Northeast. Visit jmcss.org before the deadline to apply. Welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. We've been visiting with Dr. Shemon Reaves, principal of North Parkway Middle School. Teacher Paula Broomfield, she teaches science, STEM, and many other subjects at North Parkway. And Zachary Freeman, an 8th grader at North Parkway, member of Green Power Robotics, the PEP club, PEP squad, a student leader, student president. He's coming after Dr. Reeves' job in a few years. Let's talk about Star Academy. Let's get to Star Academy. Now, Star Academy is a school within a school, and its mission is to really provide innovative project-based learning to students to get their attention, because in a school setting, a lot of times you have students on two ends of a spectrum. You have a student who just hasn't been reached and doesn't have buy-in yet, and then the other end of the spectrum, you have a highly motivated, academic-minded student that, for lack of a better term, is bored in the typical classroom. Miss Broomfield, tell us about Star Academy.
Star Academy, we have the two ends,
Okay.
and then we have the middle, which are the bubble students.
Dr. Reeves, I was in the middle.
And so all our scholars, the withdrawn ones, are now out verbally speaking, talking. They don't want to not be in Star. Like sometimes things happen where our schedule has to change a little, half a days, for example. Why do we have to go back up there? We want to be back down and start. Why can't we work on our, on our projects and do everything? I love the hands-on. That would have been good for Paula back in
Back
school.
in the day.
back in the day, and so they have every opportunity. We have a different schedule than how STAR really runs when you research it, because they hit some of our standards. So all the STAR teachers are responsible for teaching those standards that they would get in traditional. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, teaching days. So we collaborate with the 8th grade teachers for that subject to get this, to see where they are and to get the standards that need that. But they love, I love it as a teacher because it allows me, I don't have to move as fast and I can do smaller groups. And also, I let my scholars know too, I'm always here till 5. You can stay after school if your parents want to call, and I'll work with them then to get that extra practice. And I have a dedication about 4 or 5 that'll do that, or come during their lunch period to get the extra help. But to see them actually interacted and to back away, because I'm the type, why aren't you getting this? Come on, let's try this again, But to see them teach each other in that program, because each station module is with a partner. So to see them have the accountable talk and working it out, and even disagreeing in a nicer way than getting frustrated and this and that, it's just amazing. I love the STAR program. I really do, for our scholars, especially the ones on the extreme end.
Right, of that
because
spectrum.
it brings them out more.
And to interject for a moment, there's only 2 in the state of Tennessee, and that is Haywood Middle School and North Parkway Middle School. And what is Star Academy really? Star Academy really is to offer that exposure to job-related skill sets right here in the classroom. It prepares them with project-based learning, hands-on. When you talk about the ends of those spectrums, let's just kind of break those spectrums down a little bit even more. You have auditory learners. You have visual learners. You have kinesthetic learners. Star Academy takes all 3 learning styles, meshes them together to bring the best out of the students.
And what's been cool to see, again, from the outside looking in, the classrooms for Star Academy at North Parkway have been updated, renovated, the furniture,
nice.
And you can see the materials that are there for the different projects to introduce students to hundreds of careers. You mentioned soft skills, very important, regardless of the career field they're going into. Zach, I do want to ask you, since you've been exposed to hundreds of career fields, which career field is of interest to you now?
I want to be an occupational therapist.
First of all, tell us what that's about and why you want to be an occupational therapist.
I want to be an occupational therapist because it's fun to people and you can help more people grow. You can see them, you can help them with their bodily skills and stuff like that, help them find out different ways to do stuff. And the reason I want to be an occupational therapist is because I've seen them work with people, help them develop skills, and help them find other ways to do stuff.
Dr. Reaves, I have every confidence that Zachary can grow up and be whatever he wants to be.
Whatever he puts his mind to.
Ms. Broomfield, I do want to ask, and I told you the first time I met Dr. Reaves, he was a basketball coach at Northside. First time I met him. He is a published author. He's an entrepreneur. You see his bow tie, his acrylic, his acrylic tie. He's got a lot of positive things going on in his life and his career. Having worked with him, what traits stand out to you as those that are most memorable?
I like the communication that he has with our scholars. Most of our scholars at North Parkway Middle School is from single homes with only the mother present. Father's not there for any reason. So to see him interact with our young male scholars, it attracts me because they're so used to us being the disciplinarian, the females.
The mother.
The mother.
Figure.
And so to see Dr. Reaves, they're not. I was scared to go to the principal's office. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Back in the day?
Our scholars are not scared to go to Dr. Reaves because they know he's going to listen and hear. Also, correct when correction needs to be there, but on a level that they're not used to. I had a situation that took a scholar to him, and scholar was doing everything, playing with, ripping up the paper towel, not even making eye contact. So Dr. Reaves was standing up, saying something to him, and then he's like, now that I got that out, let me get eye level. So he pulls up the chair and gets eye level with them, and he's like, we have to show eye contact. And so just the words coming out of his mouth, he didn't even say, put the tissue down, anything. The young scholar, he just turned and looked him in the eye, just all out. I didn't even, after that, have to hear the word apology. I got up and left because I was like, that's all I needed to see, because whatever it was that he was going through, he had Dr. Reaves to.
Fair to say it inspires you?
Yes, it inspires me, yes.
So, Dr. Reaves, we're both tall guys. I mean, you're 6.
6.5.
Yeah, that's a joke, if you know. Dr. Reaves, I do want to ask you, over the last 4 years, every week our principals meet together. 26 individuals from 26 different schools, different backgrounds. You all meet together for professional development with the superintendent, but it's also some personal development that happens there as well. You've got 4 years of this. I would imagine there are some things you've taken from some of your peers that you've kind of put in your own suitcase, so to speak, your own toolbox, to use and inspire you as you reflect on the time you've spent in the weekly professional development with your peers, with the superintendent, with the deputy and associate superintendents. What are some phrases or tools that you use now and you're going to use?
Well, one is organization. I was under the leadership of Kippy Jordan at Arlington when I first came as the assistant principal at Arlington Elementary School. And she talked about effective communication.
Okay.
So it's big that you effectively communicate with not only your staff, your parents, and also your scholars. We have to let our scholars know. We can't assume that they know. We have to make sure that we give things clear and explicit. And put those parameters in place so that the scholars know, here are the parameters that I can stay within. And also the parents. I'm very, very big on our 33 and a third. And there's the school doing their 33 and a third. The parents holding us accountable. We're holding the parents accountable for their 33 and a third. And with our 66 and 2/3 as an adult, we hold the child responsible for his or her 33 and a third. And we have to realize that they're children. So one of the things that from that meeting with our leadership team is go slow to go fast.
You can say that again. Is that not Dr. King's favorite term?
And then finding a cadence. We as adults, our human condition can kick in, and we can get overwhelmed and get caught in the whirlwind. But when you find your cadence, you can perform and you can always be flexible to monitor and adjust. But you have your cadence laid out, which is being organized, that can lead to being effective. And, to be honest, Greg, it goes back to an old saying that we are taught, lead with love. And what's from the heart will reach the heart. And when you ask me what advice that I have going over there, be authentically me. I lead with love. We live by 5 expectations at North Parkway as well as we did at Arlington. Treat other people like you want to be treated with love, kindness, respect, and being honest. Being positive, 2, always be honest, even if I think it's going to get me in trouble. 3, be a positive leader. Don't use my influences to be a negative leader. And definitely don't be a follower. 4, focus on my dream daily, because my dream will come true. The only place that we find success before work is in a dictionary, because it's in alphabetical order. And 5, be the best me that I can be at all times, because someone is always watching and always listening. So as the young man said earlier, they don't have a problem coming to talk to me because I talk to them. We sit down together. We if they're having a problem, we can have lunch together. They can come in my office and say, Dr. Reaves, I just need you to shut the door and talk to me. And we can get through those things together. So that's the most important part, to lead with love from the top down and model what you expect. So, those are tools that I've picked up from other leaders that's been in the district for a while. Miss Anita Tucker is one of my principal supports. She's been in this over decades, so her wisdom, her knowledge that she shares, as I mentioned, we all bring assets to the table, bring strengths to the table. And Dr. King has taught us to play off each other's strengths. And we take those things to put in our toolbox, and then knowing the right tool to pull out then. Sometimes, I tell the teachers, an escalated adult cannot de-escalate an escalated child. So we have to make sure that we stay calm in any situation and realize that there's a child cry out for help. And we can either empower or destroy, and make a choice of which one that you want to do each day.
He is Dr. Shemon Reaves, principal of North Parkway Middle School, and we didn't even get into the athletics at North Parkway, which, by the way, I mean, the girls' soccer team won the district championship. Girls' basketball won the district championship. I think your volleyball's been right there near the top the last several years. Thank you so much, Dr. Reaves, Ms. Bloomfield, Zach Freeman, 8th grader, star student, North Parkway, for joining us. You've been listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. We hope you have a great Sunday, an excellent week, and we'll see you next time.